Okay, now we're getting into some really good stuff. And I swear to God, my head is about to explode. Everything that I've been researching, downloading, doing Oracle sessions on. So I think this would be not new information, of course, but maybe information that you may not have heard before or gathered together. I don't know. And look, I'm not saying any of this is true. This is just what feels true to me, what came to me, and what I got through Oracle sessions and, sat openly, was waiting to receive the right words. And then I go look up something and it all matched. Anyway, this is just my best guess and I'm sharing it with you. So what I want to talk about in this video is just defining, we talk about how Kundalini it's a coiled one resting in a bowl. And I'm going to look at what those two things are. What is this bowl and what is the coiled thing? But first I want to talk about that. Okay, I tell you, my head is exploding. So we all know that we are obviously more than our physical body, and that our physical body is just 1/10, if that, of what we are. It's just an appearance. It's a physical appearance representing what is really going on energetically. And we are energetically made up of all kinds of geometric forms, geometries, and all kinds of energies and processes that can be explained through physics. So we are spheres, my little kitty cats. We are spheres, we are triangles, we are all kinds of geometries put together. Now, where am I going with this? Because my head is about to. Okay, so let's just leave it at that for right now. But I want to just talk about the process of consciousness. And in physics, there's something called the downward causation and the upward causation. And the splitting apart from Brahman into the three different elements, this is the downward causation of consciousness. And this is consciousness manifesting into ever more complex aspects or forms of life, right? We all know this, from the mineral to the amoeba, animal, plant, animal, man, with greater and greater levels and complexities of consciousness, to where we get to man, where at least man has a little bit of self-awareness. But as man develops in his human journey, lifetime after lifetime, he becomes more self-aware. And this self-awareness has everything to do with this sexual creative force in man. And when man begins to realize, oh, this force, that I want to know myself, there's something more going on here. And this sexual urge, or this energetic urge inside of me, it's not just for pleasure. There's something more. I'm seeking something more. And he begins to utilize his consciousness to know thyself. And when this happens, of course, the intention to know oneself is the awakening or the stirring of Kundalini. And then Kundalini is released. And as she goes through her processes, it reaches up here, and man has self-realization, a stable self-realization, or even maybe even a glimpse. He has realized his self. And right there at that moment of self-realization, because it isn't the ego mind or the personality, which doesn't even exist anyway. It's not the man that wakes up to consciousness. It is the consciousness, or the Kundalini Shakti within the man, that wakes up to itself. And at that moment, that is when the downward causation ends and the upward causation, or the return, begins. And I've done all this through Oracle session, and it's kind of like This is when consciousness reaches the end of its fractal. And I know fractals are endless, so perhaps a better term would say the end of the out breath. And consciousness now, because it has the whole goal of consciousness, this downward causation, is to realize itself by itself through another vehicle. Because this whole time, consciousness hasn't woken up to itself in all these different levels of plant, mineral, whatever, in man. But once it does, it goes, oh God, I want to go back home. Let's go back on the upward causational journey. Okay, so I know there's a reason for me saying this, but I have forgotten it now because my head is splitting. So I want to talk about these two terms of the bowl and the coiled one. So in all these geometries that make up our energetic body, the bowl is the lower aspect of the bottom triangle. And, you know, we have the triangle, and you have like a little dip in there. That's the bowl. It is, what I got was, it's a dip in the wave, you know, particle or wave. So it's the dip in the wave. And what did I get? I kind of went off on a tangent. Like the bowl, let's see, the bowl is part of the triangle, ding, ding, ding. And it's this wave of, now look, you guys that are totally into physics and understand, I'm probably going to butcher all the terms and screw everything up, but who cares? This is just for fun. But this wave is like part of the fabric of space-time, all warm. The bowl is the dip in the wave, ding, ding, ding. The wave is part of space-time, warm. Wave is part of this reality, duh, yet warm. The wave, this dip in the wave, is the potential before manifestation, ding, ding, ding. So this little dip in the wave where the coiled thing rests obviously is the potential before manifestation. The manifestation of what? Consciousness waking up to itself. Okay, what else did I get? Yes, creative. Oh, let's see. I was kind of curious about what is the peak of the wave, and how does, like, what makes a wave a wave? The dips and the valleys and the peaks. And I asked, is it some kind of magnetics? And yes, and I said, oh, is it more heat and thermodynamics that create the wave? And I got a yes. So that's about all I could get out of that. So the bowl, the Kunda, is a dip in the wave of reality, I guess, or space-time. It's the potential before the creation of the particle. And that's where it rests, the coiled one. Now, the coiled one, these coiled Kundalini is said, people think that it rests at the base of your spine in the root chakra, but I know you know this already, but it doesn't actually. Technically, it is below the root chakra. I would say, like a little bit below the perineum, and it's of course not resting in the physical body. It's in the etheric realm, in another dimensional or density, from third density or third dimension. This coiled aspect, let's see, I'm reading my notes. It's so hard for me to read. I can see it in my head, but to get it out. This coiled aspect is upholding your entire energetic and subtle body geometric form. Yes, okay, we already know that. And these coils, what they are, I wanted to know, what are these coils? These coils are vibrating substances of light. These coils, like I said before, enliven our circuitry and what hold up our circuitry and consciousness. The coiled light is the third aspect. Remember, there are three forces of all of creation. We have the active, passive, and the neutral force. And what I got from an Oracle session, because I kept saying, this aspect must be part of our DNA somehow. And yes, this coiled strands, and they're wrapped 3.5 times. I'll get to that in just a second. The third, these coiled strings of light is the third unrealized aspect of our DNA. So we think we are just a double helix, but we all must know that there's always a third force, that neutral force, and that's what the light is. Anyway, it's the third element. So do we have a double helix, but actually there's a third element that kind of would create kind of like the third aspect, a triplex, or I don't even know what I'm saying, but you get what I'm saying. So the coiled aspect is kind of like a helical aspect of DNA resting in its unrealized potential and its unreleased potential. Okay. So, and these coils of vibrating substances of light are said to be wrapped 3.5 times. Well, I want to know why 3.5 times. So I did finally find an explanation, and now I'm going to share screen and just share some images. Share screen. Let's see. And just to reiterate, of course, it says the constitution of man, but it just shows that we're made up of spheres and triangles and all different stuff. And our circuitry is so vast. This is the pranic system, and these are all the pranic system, the nadis, and the nadis mean channels. And this is all, like I would say more than 90% of us is etheric in nature. We are just channels of light and energy creating geometric forms. Okay, but here is why the coils are said to be 3.5 times. I don't know if I could say this, but the sphere that makes up our aura, the outer sphere of us, when in order, and we have 7 energy centers. And so to create a body that has 7 energy centers, a spiral will spiral 3.5 times. And I don't know the math to this, but you can see here that there's 3.5 spirals, which creates 7 different intersecting points. And that's why there's 3.5 coils in order to create the 7 energy centers of man. Okay, I'm going to stop share. I hope that kind of gives you a little bit more tangible information as to why they say, oh, it's coiled something and it's wrapped 3.5 times and it's in a bowl. Well, I wanted to know why. So I think that's all I can give you on that today, and enough for today, because then we're going to talk about the cap, because this Kundalini vibrating coils of light is being held by a cap, and then above the cap is a whirlwind. And we're going to talk about next about what kind of action in physics causes the release of the Kundalini, of those coils, and breaks the cap and has the ability to move through that whirlwind in order to get to one of the channels in our body, hopefully the central Sushumna channel. Oh my God, I think that's enough for today. Okay, that's it. Bye.